Pretty good.
They signed everyone.
Pretty good.
Did you wear your Hunter Green because Nick Sirianni got extended in
Hey,
Philadelphia?
right?
Did you wear
Nick
your Eagles
Sirianni
green?
getting a bag of money, too. Congratulations to Nick Sirianni. I know I tried to fire you seemingly every week, but you absolutely deserve the contract extension. Let me be clear about one thing. Jalen Hurts, top 5 quarterback.
So does this officially take Nick Sirianni off the hot seat?
For now.
For now, okay.
For now.
You
We'll see what happens when he has to replace the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. We'll see.
Okay.
I have an issue with something
What are you going to do without the tush push? We'll see.
Okay. So winning a Super Bowl and getting an extension does not absolve him from the hot seat.
I said for now. He's off
For
the
now.
hot seat.
For now. But that means just temporarily.
No.
Okay.
You know,
Like
I have
that.
a major issue already on this show.
What?
Chris Canty, you are not someone that curbs a take. You're not someone that's afraid to have a take. Stop with the top 5. You think he's 4. I'm going to yell at you now. You and I agree that Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow. Do we not agree with that?
Yes.
Is that an insult to Joe Burrow? No, it's not. Joe Burrow is in the top 5. We both think Jalen Hurts is 4. Why do you keep saying top 5? I'm now actually angry with you.
Isn't 4 in the top 5?
It's the top 4. That's the statement.
Yeah, but
That's the statement.
top 4 seems like you're trying too hard.
Yeah, it really does.
When you say that. Yeah, I just refer
Or
to
if you
him
were
as
going to say Jalen Hurts, 4th best quarterback in the NFL.
Yes, because then what happens? People start doing math in their heads. Well, okay, Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar. Wait a minute. Those people think that Jalen Hurts is better than, and then fill in the blanks?
Let me say it this way. Jalen Hurts is top 5 and not 5.
Well, that's better.
Fair.
That's better.
Because I'm sure there's still a lot of people that would fight you off on that and say that Joe Burrow is a better quarterback.
Oh, like everyone
He
would.
might be less accomplished, but a lot of people would say he's a better quarterback.
Especially those kids in Indiana where I did that football camp this past weekend.
Oh.
They were so angry with my Joe Burrow take. Still
Were they?
angry about it.
Wait, you
Really?
went to Indiana for that?
Yeah.
I thought that was here.
No, he had to fly, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
You
that.
know of a Henryville in the tri-state area?
I didn't realize there was a West New York and New Jersey. So
I didn't realize.
You're not great with geography. Not
No.
your strong suit.
No, we
Not your strong suit.
learned that with my St. Louis roots. You can't figure that one out.
Illinois.
I didn't realize that you go to the football camp and you have a pack of kids waiting to attack you for your Joe Burrow takes.
And they should be Colts fans.
That's
and,
right.
And they are all on Joe Burrow with the Cincinnati Bengals. Love him.
Really?
Love him.
Is that an indictment on the Colts or a pump up for Joe Burrow?
I think it's a pump up for Joe Burrow. He's got this cult hero-like following.
Mm-hmm.
He's the people's champ.
He is.
No matter what you say about him, how good you think he is, whether or not he's elite, he is clearly the people's champ. He's the people's choice.
People love Joe
People
Burrow.
love Joey B. Love him.
People should love Jalen Hurts. Why is that like a debatable thing?
I don't think
get
people
that.
dislike Jalen Hurts.
Right, but I think when we say he's the 4th best quarterback in the NFL right now, that comes off as a bold take, and I don't see how it is. I think it's a bold take if you put him over Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Obviously, Mahomes is on a level all by himself, but I just think
I mean, people were putting Joe Burrow over Patrick Mahomes because Burrow beat Mahomes once upon a time, and Burrow did not have the benefit of Andy Reid as his head coach.
Right.
Right? The head coach for the Cincinnati Bengals is perceived as something that Joe Burrow has to overcome. So, I mean, it's crazy because we'll assign a level of competency, a level of success to Joe Burrow because of the head-to-head win to Patrick Mahomes that we won't give to Jalen Hurts.
Which is crazy because Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl against the Chiefs handily and outplayed Patrick Mahomes arguably in the other one that they lost. And I know that now we're looking at Nick Sirianni differently because he's won a Super Bowl and he just got an extension from Philadelphia. But for a long time, a lot of people didn't really know exactly what he did well.
Yeah.
And so we give Joe Burrow credit for maybe not knowing exactly what Zach Taylor did well in the beginning. Now a lot of people think he's a really good coach, but we didn't do the same thing for Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni before people thought Sirianni was a good coach.
and now it's indisputable that he deserved the contract extension,
Right,
which
absolutely.
he got yesterday. It's indisputable that the Western Conference Finals start tonight. You can catch all the NBA playoffs on ESPN Radio, postseason action on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed. We have 2 megastars going
No.
head-to-head? No, we don't.
We have one megastar and one really good player who is a star.
Who's who?
And is the megastar.
You keep shading SGA. You try to pretend that I'm the only one.
Is he a megastar?
No.
Come on, I'm saying the
He's
obvious.
not a megastar.
He has an opportunity now to become one.
Is Ant a megastar?
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Anthony Edwards is
he's got
a
iced
megastar.
tea in his sneaker commercials. Like he's the face of so many different brands out there. He's on every commercial break.
Randy Orton is calling him the legend killer.
I mean,
because that's what he's done.
It's an apt title, right?
He's taken out Kevin Durant. He's taken down Jokic, LeBron, Luka,
Did you just
Steph.
make a wrestling reference?
Of course I did. I'm a wrestling girl now.
You just dropped. I literally thought I heard that incorrectly. I'm like,
Randy Orton.
No, I know, but I thought, I'm like, did she just confuse a wrestler for an NBA analyst?
No, he tweeted out a cartoon
Unbelievable.
of himself and Ant, and he's putting a chain on Ant that says Legend Killer. Because this is what he's done so far. He's taken down all the big names in basketball. Now the next one up is the presumptive MVP and Shea.
Well, what does Cody Rhodes think of Ant?
I don't know. I haven't asked.
Well, you should.
I will.
Get on
Cody,
that.
Call in.
So we have a mega star and a star, but the star is the MVP. The star is the one who's on the best team in basketball based on record. The star is the one that we all think should win it all based on the fact that they are the favorites from ESPN Bet. Wow. Okay. So.
Well, we're talking about Ant, potential face of the league. We haven't said that about Shea, correct?
Correct.
So that should tell you that one is a megastar if we're even having his name so prominently in that conversation.
Have we eliminated Shea as face of the league simply because we have all said, and I think it's crazy, but people have said, it needs to be an American-born player as face of the league, that we struggle with the non-American-born player, which, again, I don't think makes any – like, why couldn't Wemby, Giannis, or Luka be the face – or Jokic be the face of the league? I don't get it.
No.
But obviously Shea is Canadian.
I think Shea falls into the Jason Tatum bucket, where you're just awesome at your job. You're incredibly consistent. You're never the headline. You don't give us that bombastic personality that Ant does, but we acknowledge how amazing you are at your craft.
I think that is fair, but I also think that if we're going to talk about face of the league with Ants specifically and then not have Shea because of personality, I don't think going to the finals makes you the face of the league. I think you got to win it all. And I don't think just because he's a giant killer with all these guys on the resume, as you said, Randy Orton was making reference to, you still got to win it all because what happened.
Sure, but the biggest challenge for him winning it all would be getting through the Western Conference Finals. No, whatever team he inevitably faces coming out of the East, we would consider inferior to what we've got from OKC this year. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
So this
No,
is the
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I'll tell you why. I think this playoff has been flipped upside down. My assumption of, well, you're going to have to go through Boston or Cleveland, it's just not true. Oh, we're going to have LeBron or Steph. One of them is going to hang around for a little bit. That's just not true, right? So I think on the surface, we could sit here today and say, we assume that if Oklahoma City gets past Minnesota, that is their toughest matchup. But you, CC, have said all along, why are we just dismissing Indiana? And you kind of just dismiss Indiana. So I would just take a step back and say, we think so? We're not positive.
I'm not dismissing Indiana. What I will say is the Oklahoma City Thunder seem like the most well-balanced team that's remaining in the playoff field.
Right. I understand
Period.
that.
Hard stop.
Yeah,
They
I get
had
that.
68 wins in the regular season. So I look at the potential barriers to the Timberwolves winning the championship, and it feels like this is the biggest obstacle. It feels like this is the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
What if they play Giannis in the Knicks?
Oh.
Oh, he's not on the Knicks yet. Everybody's already penciling him in that the Knicks have won a title and they got Giannis. Wow. Just saying.
Anti-New York over there.
I'm not anti-New York.
You are anti-New York.
You're anti-Knicks.
How can I be? No, I'm the only one who picked the Knicks. I just think it's funny that we're already having conversations about Giannis to the Knicks, and the Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm just saying. I think, to me, I get what you're saying. I think Ant has to win it all to be the face of the league. I think if he wins it all, and you see him on that podium, and you see him smiling, and you see him probably dancing, and you see him wearing the hat kind of like half on his head with the biggest smile on his face, throwing the champagne on himself and all of the teammates, you could see Anthony Edwards, who's been in movies with $1 million smile, as the face of the league. Absolutely agree. But I think it's got to be a title. And I think to Pat Costello, actually, one of our producers, because Pat, to be fair, has said all along, can we stop until he does something at the end?
Can I ask you a question? Because you're saying face of the league has to win it all. Is there anybody in the playoff field that can take that moniker if they win it all? Or is it just Ant? Because it feels like Ant stands alone in that regard. It doesn't feel like there's any other player that if they win a title, they're going to be the face of the league post LeBron James?
So SGA, Brunson, and Halliburton?
No. So
I don't think any of those
I
guys
think
are the
Brunson.
face of the league.
I think Brunson for the offseason. It reminds me a little bit of D Wade. Yeah, it reminds me of D Wade in 06. D Wade was the best player in the world in 06. The offseason was king of the NBA. The next season started, it goes back to Kobe and LeBron. I could see Jalen Brunson this offseason being everywhere if they win it all.
It's interesting that we say he wouldn't be moving forward because imagine he plays for the Knicks, for crying out loud. You bring a championship to New York for that franchise, and you're the engine, and you are the guy who gets it done in clutch time. There's so many things contributing to reasons why he should be the face of the league. But I'm with Cece. I think it would be Ant and no one else.
I would have a tough time with Halliburton. I don't think he would be because, I mean, he should. All these guys theoretically should be. I just think it's Ant and then maybe Brunson in terms of quote-unquote face of the league. But, I mean, by the way, you can go to ESPN Bet right now and bet on who you think is going to be finals MVP before the Eastern and Western Conference Finals even start. You could bet on who wins it all. These are the kind of things you got to get ahead of this stuff and look at some of the odds and smalls. You could do that by way of ESPN
Oh,
Bet.
yeah, and also ESPN Bet. We came through with our bet last night.
Yes, all
play
right.
of the day. I'm just
Cashed
saying.
it.
Exactly. Fading the Colorado Rockies. Who knew?
We did.
We all did.
Not Evan Cohen.
Bây giờ mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn làm phần thân bông hoa nhé.
Như vậy giờ mình đọc nha. 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 Đường bị đánh vào đấy. Cái gì nè? Ai đánh hỏng này? Ai đánh hỏng này? Ai đánh hỏng? Ui, toát mồ hôi rồi. Đi đây được bạn. Đấy.
Hôm nào đi ngồi đồng lò mấy ngày ở
Lại đồng lò à?
Vinh Nam, cô để cô ở Phạm. Vinh Nam.
Tôi xong rồi. Mình sẽ đi với Tô Sở Tự ạ. Tên là Sâu Quỳnh Anh.